Welcome in, my fellow traders. Welcome to Salini HQ. My name is Uncle Toast, aka El Tío Coño. I hope you had a good week. Me personally, I had a red one, and it's insane. My whole point today I want to talk to you guys about is recognizing the red flags before you derail. I went against everything that I've been telling you guys for the past few weeks. Everything, like I was saying, I don't know how long it's gonna last. But in one day, I literally dismantled everything that I've been doing. And I ended up in a break-even situation in all reality, but just recognizing those red flags right before you derail is so important, because I completely derailed. And I'm gonna get into it, and I'm gonna show you tell you how I did it. Check this out right now. It's insane. All right, guys. So we're gonna start with the only good trade. You know, I usually give 2 good trades, 2 bad trades, and like I say, I like to start with the bad trades. But with this situation, we're gonna start with the only good trade that I had this week that's even worth talking about. This one right here, this was Cmbm on Wednesday, and like I always like to say, it's good to go and check them out yourself. So the time was, I got in at $1.96 at 5:25, and then at $1.61 I added some at 5:36 a.m. and then I got out at $2.74 at 7:02 a.m. This was a good trade. You know, of course, you know what this box means. That's where I would rather be. I always like to get in the start of it, but again, when you hear the time, you know how early it is, and I try sometimes to like give it some time. But if I could catch it here, this is where I'd rather be. The first initial break or anywhere in this dip. But it was on top of the support, and as you can see, that's why I added here. This was a great add because it was in my support area. After this bar right here, a little wick green bar, and it came back up, I added some more. You know, right here, what the vision was basically, this is a new tier because it's above this support line. The way it shot up, this big bar, and when it wicked back, because this is like the 5-minute, but on the minute, you know, it's a little more, the visual is more clear. So I shot my first shot, and when it pulled, you know, this was gonna be my risk area right here, the 140s, but it held that support. This is like the wiggle room, thinking wiggle room because of this red bar. That's why I'm saying the 140, you know, this area basically. And as you can see, it held. You see this hold right, this hold right here back up is this top right here on this red bar, this area. That's why I added. It consolidated, you know. Perfect world, could have even added more. And once I saw this denial up here, I felt like it just came from a long, like we're already in the 2s here, and look where it started. Took that, good piece, good work. That was about the only good thing that was good this week. And then we start, the madness starts with Vcig, Thursday. This right here, right? Do I have the timestamp on this? First, this was a chase. I bought at $5. I have it $5 at 4:08 a.m. and I got out at $4.33 at 4:15 a.m. This was a chase. This is my box, as you guys know, where I like to do the first dip, right? And then buy at the top of after hours high, how I like. So my entry had to be where this purple box is. I'm up here with it. I go and I saw the wick and it came back down. It's under the after hour high. I gotta get out. I'm upset because I chased, and you know, red flag number 1. I'm not in a good mood. I'm upset because of the fact that I know I chased and I'm not supposed to be doing that. The rabbit hole starts from there. I take a shot at Cmbm again for a continuation shot. Second red flag, because I don't do continuation flags. I don't have a picture of that one, but let's go here and I'll show you how immediately I knew I was wrong, because in the timestamp of it, it was at $6.18 at 4:21 a.m. and I got out at $5.68 at 4:37 a.m. immediately, noticing that I'm not supposed to be involved in this trade. So that means I got in right here, and I admitted, because this is the, what was it? It was a 618, that's this area right here, you know, and I got out at 568, that's in this area right here. Immediately after, by 4:37, I was getting out. That's because I just knew that I wasn't supposed to be here in the first place, because this is a continuation play. Another red flag. I don't do continuation plays. Man, but we continue. I take a shot on a crazy chase And I mean a crazy chase. And it was which one was it? Let me find it. All you gotta know is that I lost $1.53 in 3 minutes. Luckily that my size wasn't bad. Because if my size was bad, man, forget about it. Matter of fact, we're in my journal. Let me find it here. VS, I said. These are all my journal, guys. You see all this stuff? We got a journal. Here it goes. Let me open this one. All right, look at it right here. A crazy chase. This is a crazy chase. I had no business in this. None. Even if it's just that it started here, you see where the volume is at, and it started here. If I would have gotten in the dip where my support line was at, no, this is FOMO. This is when you on that mode of doing what you're not supposed to. And as soon as I bought, look what happened. And I got out. The only smart thing here is that I got out. In 3 minutes, that happened. Lucky that my size wasn't crazy. And as we know, we don't talk position size here. This is process over profits, just so you know. In the journal, I say it. There's no catalyst. I have no business in this trade. There are moments. These are the moments that show the stupid actions, is what I write. I did a continuation play. This is not the Sabalakna system. I shot at the range with a fluff news. I just shot crazy. These are the things that I wrote, and I was just tearing myself a new one basically behind it. And then after I do all of that, I do this to the point that you see what I wrote. This is how I saved it in my journal. This is how I saved it in my journal. Because what are you doing? I went back because after all that frustration, all those red flags I didn't pay attention to, I was already derailed. And I went back to the first trade that started all of this. I went back to the trade that started all this dismantling, and I bought back because I felt, oh, okay, I must have missed it. Look at this consolidation. I must have missed it. What I thought was gonna happen is gonna happen now. And I chased yet again higher lows, and it dropped, and I took this loss. I was so upset, my fellow traders. I was so dismantled. That what happened here was, when I tell you guys I ended up with a red week but a break even overall, I had 5 consecutive weeks of green weeks, right? And when I did the math, I ended up financially right where I started. So I took away all the gains from these 5 weeks, and I'm right back at where I started financially when I was doing all my good trading, if that makes sense. That's what happened. And let me tell you that I shot at INTS. I went big on it, and with an 11% win, I got like 30% back. But this is the thing. I wasn't supposed to be in it to begin with. I should have never shot INTS. I know everybody saw INTS this week. This thing went crazy. Was it INTS? Right? I'm right. I didn't put it on my notes, man. Is it INTS? Yes, it is INTS. Yeah, that it went up to 170, 175, halted. Yeah, right here. So I shot this. I took a shot at this, but I wasn't supposed to be in this. So even if it was a green trade, it doesn't matter that I was in it from 74 cents around there somewhere. I took some, held some overnight, and got out in pre-market. This was a green trade, but it was a bad trade. What it's all about really this week was all about this. Something that started here, and all the things that I did in between this time frame right here, all the other shots that I was telling you about, and then I even got back in. Lost here and then shot INTS. This was just wrong. This is just wrong. And I hope I drive home the point. I just took 5 weeks worth of work just because I didn't recognize the red flags. I didn't recognize what I was doing, and I started shooting crazy. I did everything I wasn't supposed to do, all the rules. And what I've been saying, when we're trading good, all we're doing is going back to our rules. And I broke them all in one day, in a matter of 3-4 hours. Well, minutes. You know, I'm including INTS, but we're talking about minutes. I dismantled everything. I shot a Malaysia stock I don't want to shoot any China stocks. That's not in my thing. That's not Sabalanka. It's not part of my system. I chased. That's not part of my system. I sat there and I bought back what I told you guys about buying back, and why I stopped buying back, because it makes me feel like it has a little thing with revenge trading and over trading. And in this day that I'm telling you about, Thursday, I took like 6 or 7 shots. And like I told you guys, ever since I started following my rules, all I've been doing is 2 to 3 shots and doing well. So that's the message I want to convey to you guys today. Recognize the red flags. Before you dismantle, recognize the red flags. And now what I'm going to do is, when I'm done, when I hit my financial stop, that's another thing, I went over my financial stop. I'm talking about all the rules, guys. I broke them all. Coming into Monday, what I'm gonna do is, when I pass my financial stop, I'm closing the laptop and I'm walking away. And I'm doing that for the reason to let me know, hey, listen, if you walked away, that means you hit your financial stop for the day. You have a red trade. If I come back to my desk, it's because I want screen time, not because I'm gonna execute a trade. As we keep on keeping on, my fellow traders, I hope you came from a green week and you're going to another green week. As we keep on keeping on, man, I'm just gonna be right here in front of you and growing. And listen, recognize the red flags before you derail. Till the next one. El tío coño.